Hey everybody, Felix Staffelbaker here. I wanted to make a video that I really wish I didn't have to make. I wish wasn't really a big problem, but we're actually seeing that it has the potential to be a major problem, and that is with the EOSx vault attack that happened in EOSx. And there was a flash loan service ran by EOSnation that had a hack, and somebody was able to hack that flash loan system and actually steal 1.2 million EOS and 450,000 in USDT. And those are some rough estimates, but that's basically what this hacker was able to get away with. And normally we see hacks happen on chains that aren't necessarily foolproof and don't have a solid game plan when it comes to something like that. And that can be really detrimental to the protocol itself. And what we saw was that it turns out that the code itself was bad on the smart contract. It has nothing to do with EOS at the protocol level. It has nothing to do with EOSIO. It has to do with EOSnation writing code that had bugs in it, that was essentially bad code and was able to be exploited. And the hackers were able to do this with very little problem. And what happened was EOSnation got together with the block producers without token holder permission, and they rolled the chain back and they blacklisted that account that hacked the smart contract. At first, they offered the hacker like some crazy amount, like $100,000, which was like maybe 1%, maybe a little more of what was actually stolen. So they didn't incentivize the hacker to be honest or to give any of the money back. Instead, the hacker obviously turned that down because it was a very tiny fraction of what they had actually stolen. And they got together with all the block producers and they changed the keys to the hacker's account, EOS account, in order to take the funds back. And they are heralding that as intent is code, and that EOS is working as intended. And you're entitled to your own belief. If that's what you think happened and how it's supposed to be, then I'm sure you're quite happy right now. But I think that there are a group of people who understand. It's a very, very small group, but a group of people that understand that because of what was allowed to happen and nobody stopped EOSnation or the other block producers from changing the keys of the EOS account and taking the money back, giving it back to the people who had it stolen from them, which is fine if you had your money stolen and you needed it back. But this sets a dangerous precedent now that maybe not the block producers today, maybe they're just going after hackers today, but in the future, if you're doing something wrong deemed by block producers, and say block producers are the top corporations in the world or the top governments in the world, say Google is an EOS block producer candidate in the several dozens of spots down, But say if they were able to get in the top 21 block producers and say they didn't like something you were doing with your EOS account, or if you have your ID connected to your EOS account in an internet ID scenario, and they didn't like what you were looking at online, they didn't like what you were downloading, they didn't like what you're trying to buy, they could just take your account and change the keys, and you would have zero access to your account, zero way to get that back, zero way to arbitrate that. This really sets a dangerous precedent in my opinion, and you know, there's always an opportunity for something like this to be exploited by governments, by corporations, by banks, by the same people that we are trying to build this system to get away from, and to be able to assert our financial freedom, our freedom of choice, our independence, especially in the digital age. And so, you know, I really see this as a sort of a bifurcation of what we were supposed to see happen with EOS. They're saying that it's EOS code is intent and code is law, and you know, even Dan Larimer suggested that he was approving of what happened. But personally, I see this as an attack on freedom, attack on EOS liberty, an attack on everything that we were supposed to basically be involved for. So I still see the opportunity for massive price appreciations. I still see the opportunity for global adoption of EOS, because that's ultimately what this was built for and designed for, and what all of the major players are still moving for. But I just think that this sets a dangerous precedent, and we need to be very vigilant going forward, making sure that we're up on our P's and Q's, and making sure that, you know, potentially be able to trade out of some EOS at the top of a bull run for some Bitcoin, or even something like Monero or Pirate, and be able to fully achieve our financial freedom. So one specific point, I'm not necessarily sure they rolled the chain back in EOS, but I do know that they changed the keys of the accounts that were hacked and got all of that money out of those smart contracts. So I may have misspoke there. I didn't necessarily mean they rolled it back like they do on Ethereum, but it is something to definitely keep an eye out for. You know, other than that one little hiccup, you know, I don't see any problems with EOS. Nothing, again, it's not at the protocol level. Nothing bad is really going on, but it does set the precedent for things to occur that we may not want to occur. So it's good to keep an eye on that, and to make sure you're doing everything possible to protect yourself. So I just want to put that out there. Everything is still going as planned. Just one little thing that happened that caught my attention, and I feel like not making this video would be a disservice to all the people that follow me, and really to myself, not holding things in proper account, because, you know, my money is there too, and I'm responsible for what happens to it and everything as well. So I just want to put that out there. Stoffel Baker out.